Hello guys! In today's video I am going to show you how I use TSM to make a lot of gold with flipping and crafting and selling on multiple realms. I am going to show you basically a step-by-step guide on how you can post items with TSM, how you can cancel items with TSM, how you can use warehousing to actually restock your bags and bank with items so you simply can move items from your warbank to your character in the specific amount that you want, because if you sell stuff on different servers you're going to want to put maybe 3 of the same item in your bag and not all of them. So I'm going to show you some basic warehousing methods in TSM, and also I'm going to show you my kind of workaround with TSM warehousing for guild banks, because it's not working at the moment, but I'll talk about that more later. A lot of you guys requested a video to help you out with the actual restocking and the actual warehousing, so I'm going to do my best today to try to help you with that and show you how I do to optimize this. I am not an expert on this. There are maybe ways you can do this more optimized, more quicker, like do it in a better way, but this is how I currently do it because this is the way that I have worked it out. So what we can do today, we're actually going to start with creating a new profile. We can just name it TSM video. This is just so if you guys have a brand new TSM, this is how it will look. Like now I have a clean TSM. So let's say we do want to post those 2 items on auction house. We can go with the Weaver Cloth Tailor's coat and the enchanting hat. How I would go about it is creating a group here, and I would call it maybe profession equipment. This will basically be a kind of main group where you can add like subgroups to it. How I would go about it now, because those items can differ a lot in price, like how much you want to post them on as a minimum. Here you can do different methods. What I like to do, this is a little bit more time consuming. Not everyone will do this. There are different methods, but this is like the simplest method. If you're starting out, do this. It will increase your chances of actually understanding what you are doing. So basically what I would do here, I would create 2 different groups. The first one I would name the Weaver's Tailor's coat like this, because it's the name of that item. Then I would basically add that item to the group like this. Make sure you have specific item put on here before you add it to the group. If you don't, just remove it and re-add it when you have used specific item here. If you don't, you will get a base item which you can add to the group, but that will have 486 item level, and that will mess a lot with your pricings. So use specific item level. This is used for items where you can have the same item but different item levels. What I would do then is craft another group for the Weaver Cloth Enchanter's hat like that, and we just add the Enchanter's hat here. Basically now we have 2 different groups with our items that we can use to post, cancel and warehouse and do whatever you want with. But to actually make some kind of functionality to this group, you will have to craft operations. So basically you will have to craft auctioning operations for canceling and posting, and you will have to make some kind of warehouse operation for the warehousing and restocking. Also you can have different stuff here. We're not going to go through everything because that's just useless stuff if you're doing this. Like you can use all of them, but I don't right now in this particular case, but I never use the other stuff right now either. But for example, now then we have the Weaver's Tailor's coat. If we want to be able to post that on the auction house, what I would do is I would do once again, I would call this operation. I would craft a new operation by pressing the plus. Then I would rename it to the item like this. Then what you have to do is you have to apply down here in group management. You have to apply it to the group. So you just select the group and press select. So you see it added here. Then you will have to go to the posting tab. Always use 12 hours here. This is how long you're going to post. You want to minimize the cost you have on the auction house, and the least you can have is 12 hours, so use that. Put the amount you want to post on the auction house. For example, in this case we're going to go with 1. So even if we have 5 Tailor's coat in our bag, it will only post 1 on the auction house. What we're gonna want to do then, you can just skip all of the useless stuff here, like keep this one at 0 copper. Do not change this one, just keep it at 0 copper, 100% here. Leave everything else here as it is, but you're gonna come down to minimum price. Here is the most important part. Here you're going to put what your minimum price is for the Weaver Cloth Klof's coat. What I would do here is put a price that is a lot higher than what you bought it for or what you crafted it for. I would actually use this for probably, let's say 750 gold for this coat. By the way, what I'm talking about here is basically moving items to different server and selling them for more than on your own server. So if you're actually using TSM like to craft stuff on your own server and post it, your minimum prices are going to be different because you cannot expect that high amount of sale price. But this is mainly for flipping and going to other servers. You can use the same principle for regular selling, but then I would recommend you to use a like other minimum price like 90% DB market or something like that. We're not going to go through how that works in this video because we're going to use static hard-coded gold values. Basically 750 gold is what we will minimally post the code for. A normal price we can just add. This is basically going to be posted at this price if you have no competition like on the auction house. So if there is no codes on the auction house, it's going to be posted at this price. You can just put it at 10k, it doesn't really matter. This will very rarely happen. Just put it a lot higher than a minimum price and you will be fine. And maximum price, you can do this as well. You can just put a really high price. Those doesn't really matter in this case, so don't worry. Just put something in here, otherwise it might mess up. But there we go. So now we have a perfect group for our coat. If we want to do one for our enchanting hat as well, I recommend you to just copy this one. You can rename it to Weaver Cloth Enchanter's Hat. You can just use the same thing, but you can change the minimum price. For example, if this one was more expensive to craft, maybe you want to sell this for minimum 1000 gold. Then you just change that one to 1000 here. You have to apply the operation to your group by going to details, apply operation to group, and just apply that. So now this will basically work. If you go to your auction house now and on your TSM, on your auctioning tab, you will have this base group here, the main group profession equipment, and you will have your subgroups. What you can do now, if you just want to post those items, you can run a post scan. Just press run post. Now you can see I get the info that the cheapest auction that is on the auction house is below my min price. Basically, TSM won't post your items because the prices of your items are cheaper on the auction house than what you are willing to sell it for, the amount you put in the min price, right? And we put 750 gold there or 1000. So basically if we try to sell those, it's going to be way lower, right? So then TSM won't post your item. However, if in case, let's say I had a min price of the tailors here at 15 gold, just in this case, then your post scan would look like this. You would be undercutting competition. You would simply just press post and your items will be posted. The ones that are cheaper will not be posted. They will be left in your bag. So that is basically the simple stuff. Let's say you are doing a cancel scan, which is if you're checking if your auction has been undercut, just press cancel scan. If they have been undercut, you can just press a cancel button right here and you will get it in the mailbox right away. So I'll just cancel that one for now. I have a lot of items already posted. But that's the basic of posting and canceling auctions. But those groups will be used now when we are actually doing our warehousing and restocking from your actual warbank as well. So now if you want to use TSM to warehouse from your warbank, let's say this is your warbank right here and you have a lot of different crafted items here in your warbank, right? You have went to your main and crafted, or you have bought a lot of items and put them in your warbank because you want to spread them out to different servers or different characters. What you want to do then when you go to your warbank, you simply want to go and you want to type /TSM bank UI. So you get this bank UI popped up, unless you already have it up, because then it's no problem, of course. Here you will get a lot of different options. You can see your group here, the one we crafted before with the 2 items. So now basically we can use this group to move items automatically from our warbank to our bag by just pressing those buttons. But you will first have to configure your warehousing operation to add to those groups. So if your plan is to always use the same amount to move, like if you always want to have, like for example, 2 of the tailor's coat in your bag when you do the restocking from warband, and you want to always have 2 of every item that you're using this method for, you can use the default warehousing operations, because this will be applied to every group that you create all the time unless you change it manually. So if you want to make it really easy and always move 2 items from the groups that you have, you can simply just change the default here. This is a really simple operations. You just swap the quantity to move to 2, and you go to restock quantity, you just put that one to 2 as well. Then all you have to do is basically nothing more, because this will already be applied, I think, to your groups. So if you check here, you will have a warehousing operation that is already default. So now you can simply just press restock bags here on the UI. It will move enough items so you will have exactly 2 tailor's coat and 2 enchanter's hat in your bag, right? So that is the basics of moving. Let's say you want to have, like, maybe you want to move, you only want to have 1 of the coats and 2 of the enchanter's hat. Then you will have to create a new operation here. You can just name it how many you want to move. Like what I usually do is just name it 1 and take 1 and 1, and then you can apply this to the coat. So if I were to deposit all of the items here again now, we would actually just get 1 coat and 2 enchanter's hat when we do the restock. Bam, we got 1 coat, 2 enchanter's hat, because that is what we have applied with our warehousing operation, right? So as you can see, it's really basic. So if you want to add more items, you can just unlimitedly fill up this list with different items. If you want to have the same min price, which I highly don't recommend, you can just put all of your items into the same group and just one operation, etc. As you guys might understand, then you will have like the same prices on all of your items, which is not so good when you have a lot of different items, right? Highly do not recommend that. You can use that for other stuff, but not for crafted equipment, in my opinion. But that is like the basics of warehousing from the Warbank, which I hope you understand now. It is really easy to make those warehousing operations. You do not basically have to change anything at all, just the quantity to move and the restock quantity. If you want to move stuff from your bag to the Warbank with this method, you can do that as well. So if you have those groups and you want to move the items that you have in your bag to the Warbank, then you can just press move to bank. Then it will take 1 coat and 2 enchanter's hat, because that is what we have set in our move to bank in our warehousing operation, right? If you want to empty our whole bag, what we can do is just press empty bags. In the Warbank, this will be fairly clean and go fairly fast. The guild bank, I will say, is way slower, way more laggy. So use the Warbank as much as you can, but if you are as me and you're moving so many items because you craft a lot of equipment, you will have to use guild banks. It's going to be too annoying to only use the Warbank, I think. So I use guild banks. I even used 3 guild banks when I was restocking the last time. I had so much items and that wasn't even enough. But okay, let's try this with the guild bank, because the guild bank can be a bit more laggy. So I will take some enchanter's hat here and we will try this from the guild bank. Okay, so for the guild bank, you are going to have a problem because the guild bank does not function properly. It does not take specific item level into account. So if you're trying to move stuff with the guild bank, it's not doable, because this is 486 here, the tailor's coat, and the tailor's coat in your bag is going to be 551. So it doesn't account for item levels in your guild bank, specific items levels. So to work around this, I have done like this. If you want to move stuff from your guild bank, you will have to make a new group here that I will call base item, because this is going to be the same items in here, but it's going to be the base item level. So if I pull out one of each and I press base item here, they are not going to be grouped because we have not already grouped the base items. We can add the base items to this group, and this group now have by default the default warehousing, right? So now the guild bank can move stuff, but it's never going to be able to understand how many items you have in your bag, because it's different. 551 in your bag and 486 in your guild bank. So if we were to actually restock our bags right now, it would give us 2 more of both those items, because it can't know that we actually have those items in our bag already, because the item level is different. If we restock our bags now, it's going to add 2 of every item like this. You see we have 3 tailor's coat now and 3 enchanter's hat. So the restocking is not working, but it's still faster to use this, right, than to manually pull out your items. But for example, let's say this character already had those items and you still want to restock all of your items in here, because when you have a lot of items, you cannot manually check what items you have in your bag, etc. You just want to automate it. So if you don't want to have the problem now, like if I restock again, we will just get the same item again. You will first have to actually empty whole of your bags into the guild bank. So this is what I do when I have large restock sections, so that I will be sure that I get every item on the correct character. I will first empty my bag into the guild bank like this, and then restock, because then I will every time get the correct amount of items, right? Because now I will have 2 of each. So it might be a little bit complicated to understand, but if you don't, maybe you can watch the video again. I try to be as simplistic as I can, and this is like the basics. You cannot do this more basic. It's going to help you out like a ton if you actually use this instead of doing this manually, I can tell you that. If you use the war bank, then it's absolutely insane to use this method, because now it won't actually restock any more items, because the war bank knows what item level you have in your bag, but the guild bank doesn't. But that is like the simplest method you can do to move items and restock from guild bank to bag and from war bank to bag. So that is really easy. So what you guys understand, then the process is quite automated, because you go in here, like you restock your bags, then you just go out, you go to the auction house, or if you have the Brutosaur as I do, then you will just have to go here, take TSM and just go to auctioning and run a post scan and immediately just post everything, and you can log on to the next tune, do the same thing, and you will speed up the process a ton. I hope this has actually helped you now, so you understand how to do. If you do not, please let me know in the comments below. I will try to help you further. Join the Discord as well, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, have a great rest of your day.